a rare look at the face behind the camera. Hello, Connor here in Pittsburgh, and I am both kind of hosting a walk around Pittsburgh today, and also I am doing the Stronk Trash challenge. Stronk Trash is a challenge that's happening associated with Are We Doing This, which is a podcast that I'm one of 4 co-hosts of, and we're gonna do some Stronk Trash. So let me show you. Okay, so let's talk gear. This is kind of a full gear loadout for doing a real trash pickup, for really seriously trying to improve your neighborhood and how it looks within the bounds of the city of Pittsburgh in such a way that they don't get upset with you for having done this thing and maybe expose them to liability. So first thing you're going to need to do is download the MyBurg app. That is an app available for all smartphones, and it's a way by which you can get the city to actually kind of like get geolocations of the things that you've done. You should grab a mask. I have a nice holiday themed one here. That is important in our current times. 400,000 dead, more on the way. So this bag, I have a variety of different kinds of trash bags, up to sort of 5 or 7 mil contractor bags, like really heavy duty stuff, down to just little kitchen trash bags. The reason for this, I might find a variety of different kinds of trash on this walk. And then in this front pouch here, I have gloves. These are kind of permanent utility gloves, so I will handle stuff that would be kind of in someone's garage out on the street. For kind of grosser stuff, down here I have some vinyl gloves for like really serious gross stuff. And then just in case, some high-vis vest, and then this is a first aid kit. Most importantly for the city, and you photograph this when you submit the photos to the MyBurg app, is this 2 to 5 page piece of paper, which is the volunteer right-of-way, let me get that readable, the volunteer right-of-way litter cleanup application and litter bag pickup request form. This PDF and variations of it exist all over the web. If you Google any of those terms, it'll come up. The important thing here is that your signature below confirms that you've read and agreed to the requirements of the attached program safety guideline and participant agreement form and waiver of liability. I signed it. Liability, that is the key word. The city hates liability of any kind. They have no defense against liability. It's some sort of boogeyman buzzword that keeps them from doing actions that are sensible and right. So we're good with God here. We've kept them away from liability. You might ask, kind of like, are we going to ask the people who are like the landowners if we need their permission too? Well, let's go down on site and we'll talk about that there. See you outside. 2 more tools. These are just head clippers from any standard garden store. Picked this up from Dirty Jeff, old Jeff Bezos, Amazon. This is just your standard trash grabber, string actuated. I don't know, don't spend more than $20 on it, but maybe spend more than 5. Apologies for the wind noise and the traffic noise. We are right here on Smallman Street, right underneath the 31st Street Bridge. Looking down that way is Pittsburgh's Recycling Center drop-off point, which you might recognize. Beyond that is the parking lot, kind of behind this big building, is the parking lot where most of the city services vehicles sleep at night. And there's also a big Uber parking lot there too, where they keep all of the robot cars. This whole building right here, as far as I understand it, is all Uber. This is part of their big Robot Row secret campus right here on Smallman, and they also have between 7 and 14 sites kind of in the 7 blocks this way by like 2 or 3 blocks this way. We'll actually probably encounter most of them, ironically, as we walk kind of down the railroad tracks, which is going to be our main focus of cleanup and the main kind of right-of-way that's really gross looking right now. You know, I do want you to appreciate how Uber kind of keeps their business. We got like a motor oil can, you know, nice little plastic bag growing off of that tree. Oh, grapes, empty grape bag. Yeah, so this isn't really going to be like a cool time-lapse video. I don't really have the kit on me right now to do that, and that's not really the purpose of today. The purpose of today is actually to do the Stronk Trash challenge. Are we doing this? Hosts are going to get strong, fit, and strong by moving trash around, either by kind of killing the mammoth, moving really big things once, or by doing a lot of little things for the purposes of shaming Uber here and the various railroad companies, CSX, Carload Express, Allegheny Valley Railroad, that have kind of failed to maintain the neighborhood. I'm going to do lots of little guys, you know, kind of praying mantis style. So, yeah, I'll see you on the other side of this right away, and we'll see kind of how much trash I gathered. Cool. See you shortly. Well, okay, a little gross. I didn't make it very far to get to the grossness. This is quite something. I mean, God bless the parent that, you know, changed their kid's diaper behind these bushes. But a little weird of Uber to have kind of, you know, left it here. You know, it's not like the building's unoccupied. There's definitely been people coming in and out of it. And their security company has cars kind of watching the whole neighborhood 24/7. But they missed this full diaper here on their property, right behind this ornamental grass. Well, I'll take care of it for them. Sorry, I am gonna kind of like step into the right of way in order to get this diaper from you guys. So, I don't know, don't sue me. All right. So, we got to the end of the block. So we just came down one block of this sidewalk, just picking up all the trash kind of on the property here. And it's not the heaviest bag. It's maybe only 5 or 10 pounds. But it is like a full 13-gallon bag. The busted up piece of the top of an ice chest, I guess, kind of took up most of the volume. But there's some busted wood with nails in it, all kinds of stuff. 2 more diapers I found. Anyway, it looks like Uber actually has some private trash right there, so I'm just gonna go ahead and toss this bag. Oh, hey, there's the City of Pittsburgh recycling truck. This stuff, I'm not going to recycle any of this. None of this is safe to go back into the stream of human consumption. Absolutely not. There's like dirty diapers in there, so it's going right into the Uber's refuse. I hope they'll pardon me kind of getting their trash more organized for them and in a different part of their property. But like, they seem to have abdicated that responsibility completely. So I don't really care what they think anymore about like whether or not trash should get picked up. Trash should get picked up. Hey, all right. So we are now down at 30th and Railroad, which is right here. 30th Railroad. And this is Allegheny Valley Railroad's rail line right here. This is Uber's trash can that I just threw this trash into. It says no hazardous wastes, but like, well, I didn't put the diapers on their ground. They did. Or well, they didn't pick them up. Anyway, Railroad Street goes, you know, all the way down to downtown basically. And it's a right-of-way that Allegheny Valley Railroad still kind of claims that they own and that they maintain, but they just kind of like don't. You can see from the kind of quality of the tracks. Hey, officer. Yeah, that's a ton of rust. they have not put a track on these lines in decades, and you can see how uneven they are. You know, they're not maintained, whether in terms of trash pickup or anything else. So we're gonna basically just walk upriver up this railroad right away, and I'll kind of pause every time we fill up a trash bag and kind of let you know what our progress has been. But yeah, so this is either Allegheny Valley Railroad or Carload Express or CSX. I've lived here almost 20 years, well, like 16 years, but I've never seen a single railroad person at any public meeting I've ever been to about any of this space. They've just been slow walking the city and the public for decades, really centuries, right, as is their wont. And, you know, this ought to be a pedestrian promenade, as politicians for the city have promised for, like 60 years now. And I, for one, am just kind of like tired of waiting for it. I demand it, you know. We should be able to walk this. Trains aren't using it anymore. And we don't need to be party to land agreements that are 150 years old. We have no possible say in. But in any case, let's go pick up some Stronk Trash. All right, we made it a block. We're down on the other side of the Uber building here at 31st Street underneath the bridge and Sites-Bowen. The recycling center's right here. Unfortunately, and kind of ironically, in order to discourage people from just bringing all of their household trash down here, there's not actually like a trash bin in the recycling center. So I'm actually gonna leave this half bag tied up underneath this tow pound sign, mostly because when I file the Myberg report on my smartphone, I'll take a picture of it, and it's very, everybody knows this sign. If you work for the city, you gotta know this sign. What an iconic sign, you know. Also, probably you've like destroyed some city property and bridge property, like clipping the top of your vehicle up here. That's actually why there's these no refuse vehicle signs here, is because you can kind of see the places where they've had to rebuild and reinforce the lattice works there. Oh yeah. Oh, consumer recycling in action. Beautiful. Well, anyway, I'm gonna keep going. Oh wow, yeah, it is overwhelmingly bright. We've made it down just another block. We are at 32nd and Railroad, and there you can see Railroad Street and the little bag right there. We just got about a half bag, but you can also see, I'm gonna dox this guy, but this big shelter here and this other big shelter here, these are both parking lots and maintenance bays for Uber. This whole block long one here, and then I think they also own this little maintenance bay right there, and there's some other buildings on the other side of Spruce Way, which runs in between there. So that's all Robotics Row too, I guess. In any case, you can see kind of the state that they keep the place in. They just kind of like don't. So we'll go ahead and get all this windblown stuff swept up. It's a little crazy too, because, you know, Uber has the property down by the riverfront down there. You can see the cones in the distance. And you know, so their security cars are constantly patrolling up this street, but they just never stop and, you know, kind of look after the place. Very frustrating. But we're gonna do some Stronk Trash here and get this all cleaned up. Stronk Trash challenge. All right, well, we made it another block. We totally filled up this trash bag here, and I pulled out this busted trash can from about 20 feet back. I didn't quite even get to this half, just because I found so many beer cans. Anyway, this is 33rd Street with this amazing, huge, over-engineered, but maybe kind of crazily rigid train trestle. This is an active trestle that Allegheny Valley Railroad uses, which brings traffic from Glenwood kind of up, and then it either goes across the train bridge here, or it comes down this long ramp and goes towards clients that are upriver. That does kind of interchange up here with Railroad Street, but Railroad Street is just totally abandoned. I'm gonna bring us out into the glaring sun just to give you a little bit more context. So yeah, we just walked these 3 blocks. You can actually almost see where we started from here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 bags of trash and a big trash can. I would call that Stronk Trash for sure. I'm feeling pretty good about our accomplishments. I do want to kind of just briefly inventory some of the weirdness. There's a Jägermeister bottle in there. There's like a whole 6-pack. There's all kinds of gross stuff. Yeah, you know. And the question you might ask is like, why is this guy doing this? Why make a spectacle out of Stronk Trash? Part of it, you know, set a good example. It's important to like care about your neighborhood. You know, it's much better to have a neighborhood that has trees and not, you know, endless plastic death. The other reason, you know, this stuff, it doesn't break down, you know, so it's either going to end up in one of 3 places. It's either going to end up here in the dirt where, you know, future scientists will dig it up and say, oh, this is the kind of aluminum beverage container characteristic of the 21st century, as they called it then. You find this all over civilized world and actually all over the disturbed natural world too, because we just throw stuff everywhere. So, you know, it either ends up in the soil here, or it ends up kind of in the mud in the river 2 blocks down. Or if it really gets going, you know, and it makes it into the river in a serious way, it just ends up in New Orleans, you know. It just flows all the way out to the Gulf and goes into the sort of permanent layers of ocean floor that we're putting down. You know, all man-created trash. Well, I think that's about enough Stronk Trash for the afternoon. I feel like we've accomplished quite a lot. And I guess the sort of question that I want to leave you with, just in your own neighborhood, is, you know, do you want a neighborhood that's full of trash, or do you want a neighborhood that's like clean? Because depending on where you live, someone really is, you know, nominally responsible for these things. And if they're not actually stewarding your neighborhood, do it for them and shame them about it, you know, name and shame them for not stepping up and doing their part for the community. Not just the community of humans around them who want, you know, a nice aesthetic experience in their lives and their situations in the valley that they live in, but you know, the larger community of animals and plants and birds and mammals and you know, everything else that lives on the earth that you know, they don't really like an aluminum can either. So yeah, it's good to do trash pickups. It's good to get strong with trash, and to take a strong stand against people who don't really steward their land, especially in a dense urban context like this. You know, it's shameful that this isn't a dedicated pedestrian corridor. You know, 20 years ago, we could have beaten New York with the High Line, but instead we have like a fake High Line down on the south side that's not actually a High Line. It was like built to be a street on top of a warehouse by design. But we call it a High Line because we have not yet rested with the railroads as well as New York has, and we should. There's no reason that this shouldn't be a 6-mile long, just absolutely gorgeous. And you can see this is the trash that gets left down at Restaurant Depot. That's their concern. This is this wall of tires, But this right-of-way goes for 6 or 7 miles, and some of it's used, but, at least this first 2 or 3 miles of it is absolutely not. It hasn't been for decades. So I feel like the slow walking needs to end. And that's been my Stronk Trash. Have a great day. Yeah, so ignore the hairline fractures on the phone. They're terrible. Yeah, this is the Myberg app, so you hit, oh no, I hit the wrong thing. You hit service request. And then when you're there, you hit continue, and then you have this list of ways to turn stuff in. Garbage and litter issues is what we want. And we are, let's call it refuse violations. They'll recategorize it if we're wrong about that. And then right here you can hit the photo button, and you can pull up photos. I took photos earlier of all 3 of the trash bags that we left behind. The 4th trash bag that we were able to just put in the Uber dumpster. But the other 3 that are left behind, God, okay, maybe it's more than a hairline fracture. In any case, the 3 that we left behind, I took photos of that are really clear as to where their locations are, so I'm just going to attach all 3 of those photos and also attach a photo of my signature on the liability waiver and just write this whole thing up in this little text box. Hopefully I don't, cut my fingers. Oh, that one's bad too. Yeah, well, this phone has seen some use. It really kind of fell apart this winter. I've dropped it probably 50 times without the case, and it, took the first 48 drops pretty well, and the last 2 have just been, total catastrophic failures. But, it actually is holding up remarkably well. Damn, Android. You crazy. It is a little crazy to make both sides of a phone out of glass, but whatever.